it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island. Hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Joe on the radio. Ameer Benno is a Republican candidate in New York's 4th Congressional District down Long Island. We met. Where did we meet, Amir? And welcome to the show, first of all. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks
Good.
so much for having me.
Were we in Staten Island out there?
No, it was in Nassau County. We were at the Pat Cairo Foundation.
Oh, that was great. What a great night that was, man.
It was terrific. And you sang for everybody.
I did. I stepped up. I said, you know what? When I see firefighters and I see the first responder, the FDNY, those are my guys and gals. It's just spectacular. And a lot of cops were there. A lot of detectives were there. A lot of homicide guys were there. I can't even imagine what their lives are like. So I'm up there and I'm going, I'll just say hi for a great foundation. I end up doing a tune. The
you
band
brought
was
the
good.
house down. You brought the house
The
down.
band was great, right?
Yeah, they did a great job. You did some Frank. It was you were impeccably dressed like today. It was perfection.
I remember that. I was out there. It was fun. My buddy Todd put that together for us. So you're in the 4th District. The incumbent there is Kathleen Rice. What parts of Long Island are included in your district?
So the district is pretty much the bottom half of Nassau County. It goes from the Queens line as far east as Wantagh, from the water as high up as Mineola.
Yeah, well, that's big, man.
Yeah, there's like 700 to 800,000 people in the district.
Well, is that right?
Yeah, so it's pretty large.
Almost 1 million people, right? And it's one of the districts where the GOP could actually pick up a seat that is held by a Democrat. I mean, are you looking at polls, first of all, number one? Number two, how do you tell people, man? It's like everybody goes, well, they want to vote anti-Trump. I say, I'm like an independent, like 5 boroughs. I'm kind of like a libertarian independent. I'm going Republican right down the line, just because of the way the Democrats have been handling themselves. It's embarrassing.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. And that's what's motivating this walk-away movement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are just frustrated. They saw what happened with Kavanaugh. They see that the Democrat Party doesn't stand for anything, and they want a change. And frankly, in Nassau County, so many of our local elected officials and the county elected officials are Republican. The majority of them are. The county exec flip-flops every 8 years or so. So it's definitely doable. I know that 4 years ago, when Kathleen Rice first ran, it was an open seat. Carolyn McCarthy had been there before her. It was really close. It came down to about 5 percentage points or less between the two. So I think the time is ripe, especially now with the frustration people feel towards the Democrat Party. And frankly, if you're results oriented and you're looking at what things have been done, what has been accomplished under the president, I think like him or hate him for being brash, but when you look at results, I think people admire it.
They can't stand it. They can't stand it that he's making sense. Matter of fact, you know what? Listen, we supported him from day one just because it was different. And what was the alternative? I always ask, what was the alternative? If Bernie ran, you know what? If Bernie ran, I would say, yeah, well, at least he believes. He's a communist. He believes. He's a Brooklyn-born communist, and he believes in it. When you get somebody else in there, like Mrs. Clinton, who I don't hate, but there's no backbone. I don't know what the Democrats stand for. It is time to rip it up. And you're the perfect choice for that in that district, man.
Yeah, thank you. And when you ask about polls, I mean, the fact of the matter is I'm not one of those people who's going to, lick my thumb and put it in the air and see which way the wind blows. I'm going to tell my message the way I believe. I'm going to be true to my convictions. And it's whether it's politically popular or unpopular, I'm going to go, forge forward. So I haven't seen any polls. We haven't done a poll. So, but I have tremendous enthusiasm out there and energy, and we've been getting a great reception.
Yeah. So what will you do that Ms. Rice has not done?
Well, the first thing is she's not in the district. I mean, for 4 years, she went to Washington and she disappeared. So we need a visible presence, somebody who's going to be there meeting with the civic groups, meeting with the community. And you look at Peter King, you look at...
I was just at the tip of my tongue, I was going to say, what a great public servant. Dan Donovan in Staten Island, Brooklyn as well. Yeah.
Right.
These guys really step up.
Right. And Dan came from the Manhattan DA's office before he went over there, which is where I came from as well. But yeah, Peter King's at everything. He's at a baseball game. He's at the Cub Scouts.
Yep.
And people see him and they know him and they realize that they have a representative. Kathleen Rice, complete opposite.
Yeah. Did you debate her? I should know this. I apologize.
No, it's okay. No, there hasn't been. We've called for one, but there's a debate that's scheduled for News 12 this Thursday in studio. As I understand it, it's not going to air on TV, but it'll be on the web.
They're not getting there.
Yeah.
They are dancing, man.
I'll tell you, it's like Cuomo and
I know they're sneaking into CBS, man. They think no one's gonna watch, but I'll tell you what, though, if it's on demand, you'll do it. News 12 out in Long Island, that's a great outlet, by the way. We have News 12 in Jersey. They're really good locally, they're great like that. So you'll go against Miss Rice right
100%. And listen, I'll debate anytime, anywhere. Just give me, a half hour to get there.
Yeah, you're locked and loaded, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
So your dad is from Israel?
Yeah, that's right.
I love this.
Yeah, my whole father's family's from Israel. Actually, he was born there before it was a state of Israel. And his family, his parents had come from Baghdad. They were actually they smuggled guns to the Haganah in Israel. So it's like the predecessor to the IDF before Israel. And then he was born into a refugee camp there, and a Jewish refugee camp. Grew up there, fought in the Six-Day War, came here in the early 70s, met my mom, and the rest is history. So my whole dad's side is still outside of Tel Aviv, but I was born and raised in the U.S.
You go back over there?
Oh yeah, I was just there a month and a half ago. I was there with Mike Huckabee. I was there with Mooch, who I know is going to be coming in later. I guess.
That's great.
Or is he? Or
yeah,
he's been on the show. I know.
Mooch is a friend.
Yeah,
Mooch is a good friend. He's a good guy, great guy.
Yeah. So
and so he was over there too. How great is Tel Aviv, though, man? Oh my gosh, it's a world-class city, huh?
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, most people don't know because they haven't been there and they see what they see on the news. But it doesn't always portray.
So
the
where's
truth.
your mom from? I just like to know history.
Yeah, no. My mom's grandparents came from the Ukraine. They were escaping the Jewish pogroms early in the 20th century.
Yeah, man.
But they're from Albany.
And I know that fighting Islamic terrorism is a big issue with you. How do you think that President Trump has done so far in that regard, Ameer?
Look, I think he's done. Again, if you're results oriented, he's nearly decimated ISIS. I mean, we've accomplished things that the last president couldn't do. This is no JV team. This is, he really took it on, and he's done a great job with it.
How do you the taxes, man? The taxes on Long Island, in the city, the whole region is ridiculous. Yeah. Do you have a plan? Could you cap the taxes? My idea is to put a Prop 13 in, like they did in California, where you kind of handcuff, the powers that be. What was your plan for Long Island? Because Long Island, I think you may have higher taxes than Jersey, actually.
It's definitely the highest taxed area, if not the country, than in the state. I mean, and there's just an exodus of people from it. So there's a bunch of things on taxes. I mean, we have to do a tax reform 2.0. We have to actually get some reform in there. We need to incentivize businesses to come in, spread our commercial tax base. That'll drop down our property taxes. We got to put some money into the Long Island Railroad. That'll pump money into the economy. There's a whole bunch of things. We need to help our student loans. Kids carrying those student loans, we have to get some tax relief for them as well. And we got to help our S corporations, which are the small businesses. The current tax bill, really does favor the C corps. We need to help our mom and pops. And
now, I know you were a prosecutor, as was your opponent, but who was the Nassau County DA. Who do you think is better equipped to work with federal and law and local law enforcement than your opponent? You were groomed for that, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was a prosecutor. I became a civil rights attorney afterwards. So now I'm a constitutional law attorney, civil rights attorney. So my career has been taking on government. So I take on government.
Constitutional law.
That's it.
Look at me carrying the Constitution around.
Yeah. So you've got the pocket Constitution.
Looks
That's the centerfold of the Constitution.
The guys were busting my chops, but I try to carry this because I'm not really up on that like I should. Do you study this, the Constitution inside out?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I do it as a career, and I represent people and defend their rights. But I'll tell you this, I'm the only one who's gotten the endorsements of all of the law enforcement PBAs. So corrections officers, the Nassau County PBAs, the Detectives Associations, the superior officers, they've given it to me. And when you look at Kathleen Rice's record on immigration, somebody who supports sanctuary cities, who supports putting a wall between local law enforcement and ICE so they can't share information, that's not how you make our communities safer. Somebody who's doesn't want to support the strategies that will stop fentanyl and opioids from coming into our communities and decimating them, that's not how you make our communities safer.
What are they thinking, do you think, when they go up, when the governor, and again, Frankie Fibros and I go back and forth because I like Andrew, but it's like it's so hard to stick up for him anymore, man. I mean, America never was great. And to say, even just for the sake of playing to the progressive socialists on the left, that ICE are thugs, and these men and women in ICE go in there to keep our city safe. And you're absolutely right. The drugs that are coming, the MS-13 problem in Long Island.
It's huge. It's a huge, and it's not a Suffolk County issue. It's a Nassau County issue. We had a body found in East Meadow, which is Nassau County. There was a hit put out on a police officer in Hempstead. Yes. And we had 2 bodies found in Freeport, which is in Nassau County. So it's clearly here, and we really have to deal with it. And for people who call ICE thugs, I mean that's just a disgrace to law enforcement. They're doing great things, and by the way, they're doing a humanitarian service also, because think of all the people who are getting these coyotes who are bringing these people up. I heard something like 40% of women or more are getting sexually assaulted or raped on the travel up, and then we have kids being trafficked. ICE is what deters people from coming in. So we're they're doing a great national service.
Ameer, they have no idea. And the coyotes, bingo. Thanks for mentioning that, because exactly right. I think that's how this got orchestrated. They pay these creepy guys, and they tell people, and they play on the false hopes of these people, and then bring them up to what they have to go through. It's inexcusable, man. So this is the opportunity to really just shake it up a little bit, and this blue wave, maybe not, huh?
No, that's not what I'm seeing out there. I see a lot of energy, a lot of frustration after the Kavanaugh hearings. With people who are just disgusting.
You seem very relaxed. The campaign's going good.
I feel great about it.
You're very natural with it, yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing.
Listen, like I said, I mean, there's no pretense. I believe in what I say is what I believe, and I'm just going forward, and people are receiving it really well.
All right, there. Ameer Benno, you got to check this out. Ameer Benno, and where can we find out more about your campaign?
Yeah, my website is bennoforcongress.com. That's BENNO for Congress.com, and you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Benno for Congress.
Thanks, Ameer. God bless
Joe,
you.
it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for coming over, man. Great to see you at the Cairo event. That was a lot of fun.
You too.
I'll see you out there in Long Island for sure. And yes, the only what's amazing about Long Island, I think the taxes are higher. You know what, Albert? I think the taxes are higher in Long Island than they are in Jersey. At Jersey, that's the one thing we could brag about in Jersey. We have the highest taxes in the country.
Yeah, I mean, in my town, I get good services for my money, so I don't mind paying.
In Clark, where was it? The people yelled. They would say Clark. We're in Clark. They love Clark. Clark's a great little town.
Because it's a great little town, and for what you pay in that town, you get a lot of great services within the town. The surrounding towns in the area, Rahway, Cranford, Westfield, Garwood, you're paying more money, and you're not getting as much back.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.